And here's my X account, and if you're on there, definitely give me a follow, and I do post a lot of information on my X account. And here's expected moves for next week, and if you want to take a screenshot, I mean, these levels can work like a magnet, guys. So these are very helpful, and that is what the market is pricing in. If you want to take a screenshot, it's going to help you trade next week. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today in this video we're going to talk about 9 mega cap stocks in this video. But before we get started, please hit that thumbs up button. That is greatly appreciated, and that really helps out with YouTube algorithm. And if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, 3 days of live trading in my Discord, definitely check out the Patreon. I'll leave a link down below in the description. And if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. And now let's get right into it, guys. On AMD, absolutely flat day on Friday, not really going anywhere. We saw a bit of a rally early in the morning, but it kind of faded at the end, and AMD closing right at the support right here, holding this trend line at $96 into closing. So this is gonna be a key level to watch Monday morning. AMD gives up this support, and I said it before, guys, that AMD right here hitting this support 100 multiple times, and whenever you see a big stock hitting a support multiple times, and if that breaks, you're going to see a lot more selling. And look at this, down to 95.61 on Friday. So now, yes, it's getting a bit oversold. I would not be shorting. I would not be looking to short AMD right here, but I think there is a relief rally possible on AMD back up to at least just above 100, possibly back up to 100 and a little bit above 100 to close this gap right up here, 100.28. Now AMD cannot hold 96 right here. Then you're going to see a flush all the way down to $89 on AMD. So keep an eye on this support right here, 96, and the resistance at 100 on AMD, and AMD can break above 100, then you are going to see a little bit more upside all the way up to 104.42, 105, and then possibly moving even higher. Until then, I mean, I would wait for a breakout above 100, and that's gonna be really hard to come by right now on AMD, guys. On Meta, it's up 1.13%, and Meta rallied all the way up to 305. Even though the market was selling off, Meta was up $9 on the day. But look at this candle and this rejection, and that is looking extremely bearish going into next week on Meta. I mean, look at this closing right here, right on top of this. We're actually not even on top of this white line 20 SMA, just below it, guys. White line 20 SMA sitting at 299.27, and the stock itself sitting at 299.08. So keep that in mind right here. Meta stays under 300, you're going to see a flush down to 290 and possibly going even lower. Above 300, watch out for the resistance right here. Now we got red line 50 SMA sitting at 301.84. And just above that right here, we got rejection multiple times right here at 305, and only Meta can clear 305. Then you are going to see Meta running all the way up to 310 and then 316. Now below 300, guys, like I said, looking extremely bearish right here with this candle and this big rejection. Meta stays under 300. You're going to see, at least in the short term, 290 on Meta, and then 287 all the way down here to 76. On Microsoft, is down 0.79% and pretty much closing at the low of the day, right on top of this Bollinger Band at 317. And this is not looking bullish going into next week, but also keep that in mind. A big name like Microsoft hitting lower Bollinger Band multiple times, you're going to see at some point a counter trend rally on Microsoft. And if that happens, we could be going back up to retest blue line 5 SMA, and that's gonna be a resistance to watch. And if you look at it, guys, I mean, look at this move on Thursday, and this one I actually caught it to the upside and made really good money on this move. But look at this rejection from this blue line 5 SMA on Thursday, and now it's sitting at 323. So if there is a rally on Microsoft, watch for a breakout above 323, and only if that happens, you're going to see more upside back up to 330 to 331 right here. We got red line, 50-day moving average right here, 13-day moving average, and also 20-day moving average right here between 330 and 331. So Microsoft can pass, through all these resistance right here. Then you are going to see more upside. Until then, watch 323 resistance right here, and then 330 to 331 to the upside. And to the downside, this is going to be a critical support right here, 316, and if that gives up, Microsoft coming all the way down to 310.50, and then possibly going even lower all the way down to flat 300. On Amazon, stock is down 0.16%, so kind of a flat day. Amazon not really going anywhere on Friday. But look at this, guys. I mean, this thing cannot come down anymore because this Bollinger Band holding right here around 128.60 and pretty much closing at the low of the day right here, just like every other mega cap. And we saw a bit of a rally early in the morning, but all the gains pretty much faded on Amazon, getting up to 132, and then gave away all the gains and closing right here, right on top of this Bollinger Band at 128.60, closing at 129.12. So Amazon needs to hold right here. If that holds right here, then you're going to see possibly a counter trend rally to the upside, and that rally should take Amazon all the way up to this blue line 5 SMA 134.27, and then the gap above 135.20. Now to the downside, this Bollinger Band will come down even more, and if that happens, the next support all the way down here below 128.60, 126 on Amazon, and then all the way down here at 118. On Google stock, we got a flat day also, and Google barely holding 130 as a support, just above 130 holding into closing. And if you look at it, guys, we saw a bit of a rally on Google also, but we also have resistance right here at 133 and getting rejected from this level and pretty much closing at the low of the day and holding just above lower Bollinger Band, sitting at 130.59. So Google stock needs to hold here at 130. And only if that holds, you're going to see a retest and possibly going back up to fill this gap 134.52 all the way up here. And that should be a nice rejection on Google stock from here. Now, 133 also needs to break, and then you're going to see 134.52 to fill this gap on top and possibly retesting 135 also. Because if you look at my screen, this nice uptrend was holding on Google, and now that we're below this uptrend, this thing goes back up to retest. It's going to get rejected and then possibly will come down and fill this gap down here at 123.69. So watch 130, and if that gives up, you're going to see a lot more downside all the way down to this gap. I mean, it's not going to happen Monday, but at some point you're going to see it happening on Google below 130. 123.69. To the upside, 130 can hold. Watch out for a move back up to 133, 134.52 to fill this gap on top, and then possibly gets a rejection from 135 and gets down to 130 again, and then the gap below 123.69. On Apple stock, it's up 0.5%, and Apple going back up to 177 exactly right here. And look at this rejection. Apple coming down and holding just above 173, holding that as a support. We got all these moving averages right here, and also we have strong resistance at 177. That was a big support before multiple times right here, and now that's a big resistance right here on Apple stock. So Apple got rejected big time right here and coming down and closing just above 173. Now I'm telling you guys, 173 breaks, the next stop, it's going to happen 170, and then the gap below right here 167. Now Apple can actually break 177 and Apple can stay above 177, then watch out for a move up to 180, and then the gap above 181.47 up to even 183 to retest red line right here, 50-day moving average on Apple stock. On Tesla stock is down 4.23%. So Tesla taking a massive beating in this one here, now getting down to 240 to 241. That's for sure early Monday morning. Now you cannot ignore a candle like this one, a big bearish engulfing candle. We got one right here, and then what happened? Big sell-off, waterfall style sell-off all the way down to right here 211. We got one here, and then what happened? Big sell-off, and now we got one here after this sell-off. So now I think there is more downside on Tesla. The next stop around 240 to 241, and if that gives up, it's going to land right on top of this Bollinger Band, 235. We also got this gap down here at 217.58. Now Tesla can bounce from here, 240 to 241. Then watch out for a move back up to 252, and then right here, guys, 256 to 257, and then the gap above 262.46. On Nvidia stock, it's up 1.45%, and that is why I gave you guys all those expected moves for next week. Nvidia, there is a big one, I think a $20 expected move on Nvidia, so this thing should be moving next week. Now, if you look at my screen, we got a doji indecision candle. It's up on the day. We got a relief rally, but cannot even break 420 right here. This big resistance on Nvidia. Thursday, rejection. Friday, rejection. And now going into Monday, you want to watch Nvidia breaking above 420. And only if that happens, you're going to see Nvidia closing this gap, 422.23. We also have strong resistance right here, 424, and negative sloping 5-day moving average right here, and that's going to be a big resistance to break from this gap filling and also getting above blue line 5 SMA on this daily chart. We also have resistance from this trend line. Look at this right here, a strong resistance around 430. So Nvidia has to move, and Nvidia has to break all these levels. 420, Nvidia has to fill this gap at 422.23, also needs to break 5-day moving average right here, which is not a positive slope anymore, right here 424.70, and then this trend line right here at 430. Only Nvidia can clear all these levels, then you're going to see a quick trip all the way up to 443, 453, and then 460, which is a long way from right here 416. Now Nvidia gets rejected from any one of these levels right here, you're going to see the flush continuing all the way down to 406.98 and then 400, and at some point this gap also will get filled at 395.30. Now the weekly time frame, guys, same thing. I'm gonna look at this thing. 20-week moving average right here, 418.66. So Nvidia will be more bullish. At least Nvidia can clear and hold, I would say 420, and holding above this 20-week moving average right here on this weekly chart. Until then, guys, I mean nothing goes down in a straight line, nothing goes up in a straight line. So at some point Nvidia will fill this gap right here at 395, and then if Nvidia stays under 400, this gap comes into play right here, 306, and if that happens, market will come off also big time. So you got to be careful, especially if you want to watch the market, you want to watch Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft at this moment. So Netflix also down on the day, 1.13%, and this one not even getting a relief rally. I mean, everything that we saw on Netflix to the upside, this thing sold off. And so far, 5-day moving average right here, this blue line, acting as a big resistance on Netflix right here. Again right here, and on Friday, getting up to 387. It's sitting at 388. We saw more selling on Netflix and touching 378.36, almost touching this support 376. So This is gonna be a big level of support on Netflix, 376. If we get a bounce, then watch out for the resistance at 388, and above that, this thing can run all the way up to 400. Now below 388, and this thing cannot hold 376. I hate to say it, the next stop all the way down here to this gap, 341.38, and that is a long way down for Netflix, guys, from what was it, 500, 485, now down to under 385, and there could be more downside unless we get that bounce next week from 376, and somehow this thing actually gets that closing above 5-day moving average right here, 388. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and I will definitely keep you guys updated Monday.